Ladies and gentlemen, fans of rock and roll, believers in rhythm and blues, lovers of the music that shaped generations, lend me your ears, your hearts, and a moment of your time. Today, we stand not just at a crossroads of schedules or sold-out arenas, but at the very precipice of a changing world. For those who grew up with the smooth harmonies and cosmic guitar solos of the Steve Miller Band, this news will sting like the final notes of a last encore drifting off into the night. Steve Miller, the magician of melodies, the author of Dreams That Once Flew Like an Eagle Across Time, has had to ground his 2025 tour, not because of lack of passion, not because of fading desire, but because the world outside has grown too dangerous for the magic to roam. At 81 years young, Steve Miller has never backed down from a tour. He has rolled through decades with grit, with groove, with an electric energy that refuses to flicker. But this time, it's not a broken string or a logistical mess that's bringing down the curtain. It's something far greater, far more alarming: extreme heat, relentless floods, unforgiving tornadoes, looming hurricanes, wildfires that roar with fury and smoke that chokes the skies themselves. These are not just local weather patterns anymore. These are planetary cries. These are signs, not from critics or record labels, but from the Earth itself. And when the Earth speaks this loudly, even rock stars must listen. The Steve Miller Band, in their wisdom and care, chose not to risk it, not for themselves, not for their devoted crew, and most certainly not for the audience who has danced to their music for decades. They could have forged ahead, they could have gambled with fate, but they didn't. Because true musicians don't just perform for applause, they perform for connection. For safety. For communion under the stars. And when the stars are hidden behind wildfire smoke and storm clouds, the song must sometimes be paused. In their message, poetic and poignant, they wrote, "You can blame it on the weather." The tour is cancelled. It's a line that carries more than logistics, it carries heartbreak, responsibility, and truth. How ironic, that the man who taught us to fly like an eagle must now stay grounded. But even eagles know when to rest. Even legends understand when the winds are no longer lifting but tearing. And so we must thank them, not with disappointment, but with admiration. For putting humanity before hits. For choosing people over profit. For standing down when the world demands it, not out of weakness but out of wisdom. This isn't a goodbye. Not truly. This isn't the sound of a band packing up forever. This is a pause, a breath, a step back in the face of chaos. This is a message written not in sadness but in hope, hope that skies will clear, that cities will cool, that forests will breathe again. Don't know where, don't know when, we hope to see you all again. That line, etched with longing, echoes through arenas that will not be filled this year. It travels across highways that won't hear the hum of their tour bus. It floats through the minds of fans who'd been counting the days, planning the outfits, and dreaming of a night beneath the stars with Steve Miller's timeless soundtrack. The stage lights may be off for now. The amps may be silent. But the legacy, that endures. The spirit, that soars. The music, that will never stop playing in our memories, in our cars, in our playlists, in our souls. Let us remember the Steve Miller Band not for a tour cancelled, but for a career that never compromised. For songs that defied generations. For melodies that stitched themselves into the fabric of American sound. As the world changes around us, violently, suddenly, undeniably, let this be a moment to reflect on the fragility of our planet, on the power of nature, on the importance of listening when the winds howl louder than the amps. To every roadie who packed their last case, to every ticket holder who must now tuck away their dreams, to every member of the Steve Miller Band who has ever stood under the hot lights and poured heart into harmony, know this: we hear you. We honor your decision. We stand with you. Because the show may be paused. But the love, that plays on. To Steve Miller, thank you. Thank you for the decades of songs, for the words that guided road trips and healed heartbreaks. Thank you for flying with us for so long. Even when the storms gather, your music remains the clear sky we return to. And when the clouds part, when the fires rest, when the winds quiet, when the world is ready again, we'll be there. In the front row. Hands raised, hearts open, waiting to fly once more.